Harit Shah joins in from Nirmal Bang to talk about what's happening with Infosys. Harit, hi. Good morning. The Infosys stock is now trading at what, 12 times 1 year forward? Do you think it can derate further from here?
Yeah, so at this point, I think at about 2,950, it's about 12 and a half times FY16 earnings. So, look, obviously a lot of it is sentiment driven. A lot of it is concern about all the 10 senior exits that we've seen in the last 1 year. Having said that, I think frankly at this level, we do believe that it's a reasonable opportunity to accumulate the stock. Of course, with the caveat, not certainly see any kind of immediate. It is very clear that until they obviously need to now immediately get on track in terms of appointing.
Am I getting you right? You are asking people to accumulate at these levels?
No, so we have a buy rating in any case at the stock. I think at 12.5 to 13 times, FY16 earnings, we really don't see any downside. But what we are essentially saying is that you'll have to be a little patient. You're not going to see any immediate upside. Basically, I think clearly they first of all need to get on track in terms of appointing a CEO as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Preferably someone who has got a global vision. Got a very strong.
No, I take all that. I'm more worried about what investors should do at this point in time. What the company does is what, of course, we will await word on. Reema Tendulkar, our analyst who follows this company closely, is also with us. Reema, any questions for Harit or anything that you've been picking from the investor community?
Well, I'd just like to make one point about the valuations. Now for FY16, it's trading at close to about 13 times, as Harit pointed out, and that is actually very close to its historical lows. So the lowest valuation multiple it saw was in F509 during the Lehman crisis. At that time, it had gone down to about 12.9, 13 thereabout, anticipating weak demand in 2010. So now it has come down to historically low valuations, and otherwise, it's seen, forward-looking PE anywhere between about 15 to 20. So even if you take an average of 17, 18, it's seen even a 20x forward multiple. So 13, at which it's currently trading, is very. Or
even if you took the lower end of the range of 15, this is crying buy if you think that it will revert to mean.
But there are a few other concerns for the stock. So one of them is that it has lower exposure to the faster growing segments like IMS and BPO, which is where a chunk of HCL's growth is coming through. Secondly, analysts have also pointed out that at a time when its revenue is shrinking, if you focus too much on the margins, will it hurt your market share? And thirdly, they're talking about attrition, and what could feed it further, apart from these senior level exits, is the wage hike. So the wage hike that Infosys has given this time is lower than that TCS has given. So yes, you have senior level exits, but given the lower wage hike as compared to its peers, will it drive a greater attrition at the mid-level management as well?
Usually a vicious cycle.
So these are other concerns which are there fundamentally as well, apart from valuation. So they normally balance it.
Okay. Harit, your comment on what Reema is saying, and more importantly, do you see on the anvil a chance that this 245 earnings, which all of you are talking about at the end of this year, is going to get downgraded?
So basically, I think the concerns that have been mentioned there, I think a lot of it is by and large is the price. These things are well known in the market. They are well aware. The street is obviously aware of these concerns. Now, obviously, the critical question is that going forward, will they be able to address them effectively? And that is obviously one of the most important aspect. And obviously, from an immediate term perspective, they need to ensure that client attrition does not happen. With Mr. Srinivasan's exit. So I think that is something which we should look at very closely in the next few quarters. I'm sorry, I didn't quite get your second question.
No, I thought, will you lower that 245 rupees?
No, I don't know what 245. Our estimate was anyway never 245. Our estimate for FY15 is about 207, 208 rupees. Okay. And for FY16 it is about 225. It was 236 earlier. Okay. It partly downgraded because of a currency reset actually.
Okay. No, I guess I've confused it with the FY16 earnings.
Right.
Reema? All right, Harit, thanks a lot for joining us with that quick analysis. So, someone who's bullish on the stock, looking at it as an attractive buy, but not quite recommending it as a buy just yet, worried about how the company will solve its problem. We'll take a